Okay, so here is a quick walkthrough on Wayround, formerly known as Quizizz. So once you do log in, which you can log in with your Google account, you can come to the home screen. We can create, search, or upload your own resources. You've got your library section where all the resources you've made will come here, and obviously, as you can see, I've made quite a few. You've got your created ones, you've got your drafts, you've also got ones that you've previously used. Obviously, so this can be one that someone else has made as well. You've got some which are within your school. So if your colleagues have made any that they want to share with you, obviously you have them here as well. Sessions, so you can actually go to the sessions and see how everyone's done. So in terms of some of these, obviously 48%, so it means obviously in terms of all the questions that were given, 47% were correct. We've got a few better ones here, 81%, a few low ones, 27%. So obviously this is quite a bit of good data to know exactly which lessons haven't gone so well, and maybe obviously you can spend a bit of time redoing. You can see a list of your students here, so all your classes which are here you can see. What I think which is a good one is if you come to your classes, you can see your students, you can see sort of their average accuracy, completion rate, activities. Accommodations is a good one, so I'm going to very quickly go to add accommodations. And this is where you can actually edit everything for your students. So if they do need the text read out aloud, you can obviously switch this on. Reading mode, let's switch that off. Extra time for questions, so obviously when you do give them quizzes, whether they get extra time for the questions, because you can set the time for each question, so this would select whether they do get an extra time. So this could be for your sort of special educational needs students. How many attempts they get, so if they get extra attempts for some reason, you can have that here. If do they get an extended deadline, so they may get a bit more time here as well. So these are quite some good things that you can set once, and these should set for the student throughout the school. And that's not something that, well, these are things that no one really needs to come back and play around with. Reduced answer choices, so again a bit of scaffolding, so instead of them getting 4 choices they'll only get 2. So that's another good one as well. Redemption questions, so where they can get a question or a similar question again, or they can do the question again. Hints, obviously they're given hints. Speech to text is another good one. So where you may have students who may not be able to type some of their answers, they can actually use a speech to text option as well. You've got the dyslexia font, which is one that I like, but the one which I use the most is the translate. So I do actually go in and sort of add which language is my students' first language, so that whenever they do get the quizzes or the content sent out to them, they do get it in their own language. So I'm actually then testing them on the actually content knowledge rather than the level of English at the same time. Font size, obviously they can see any text a little bit bigger. Bilingual dictionary as well, so they can get access to a bilingual dictionary. There are some restrictions on these, so you can only use sort of, I think if you're using Translate, you can't use bilingual dictionary and vice versa. You've got reading mode as well. You've got notes to refer, font spacing, so a few things that obviously you want to play around with. But one thing I definitely do recommend is to go to the Translate and make sure you use that, especially for your EAL classes. You can choose obviously not to show the leaderboard for a student if you do get students who obviously don't like seeing this leaderboards, or maybe they get a little bit too excited and maybe sort of they change the dynamic of the lesson. You may not want to show them the leaderboard. Turn up sound effects for certain students as well. That's another good one. But anyway, if we come back to our lessons, okay, so we do have, again, we've got our library, we've got our sessions, we've got our students, we've got our admin controls as well, which obviously only the admin will have access to. Voyage Math, I've never actually played around with Voyage Math. That may be one that I may want to test out at some point. But what I do like here is you can search for resources. So let's say if there's something you want to do for your lesson, so let's talk about A-level cryptography. Okay, let's see what comes up. So we've got assessments, we've got presentations, so we've got quite a few things there. Cryptocurrency. So obviously, depending on what type of session you want to run, you can choose what you find. So obviously we've got a few things that have come up from YouTube, interactive videos, flashcards, etc. So some really good content there that you can look for. Obviously I've just done one which is just done straight away, so let's go try this. 12th grade, let's see, obviously that will filter it down. So A-level CS unit 17 security, which is something which I might potentially use as well. So yeah, you can filter that down to what you're after. Obviously you can filter them down here. So the different types of content you can have are here, which we will go through shortly as well. So that's how you can search for things. You can upload your own content, or you can create your own resources. So if you do have content that you want to upload, obviously you can search through your Google Drive. You can upload something. So if you've got something on a PowerPoint, you can upload. So I am going to upload from my device. And so I've got my content, which is loading up now. Okay, and now once that's up, it's now trying to understand my resource, so it's just going to very quickly scan it, and it will make a few suggestions, which I really like these, which is pretty cool. Remember, AI can make mistakes, so review and customize each resource to ensure it meets your unique classroom needs. So I can decide whether I'm going to go for a presentation, which will basically be something which I would normally teach from. Students will get this on their screens. I can add a few questions in the middle for AFL. To test their learning, to test what they understand, or I've got an assessment which basically just go through the slides. They can go through in their own time, at their own pace, which again I'll show you an example of shortly. So I can go to my presentation. It's understood that there's 15 slides selected. Do I want to customize my resource? I can auto-generate questions based on the uploaded content. I'm going to click on yes for now, create the resource. So now what it's doing is basically going through my presentation. It's going to add a few slides, which I think this is a great tool. Okay, so I've got my slides here on the left hand side. Okay, so I've got my title slide, got my objectives. Now these blue ones here, these are actually what's been added in by themselves. So it's used a little sort of scanning tool to add in questions. I'm going to decide whether I want to keep these questions or not. So which of the following is not a type of network topology method in the objectives? Okay, so that's not one that I really want to keep, so I'm going to discard that. Now, once that's binned, that's actually going to come to the bottom. So if I do want to pop that back on, I can do. Why is it important to understand the difference between LANs and WANs when designing a network? Now, this is actually here, which I'm not entirely happy with, so I can actually move that down, which I'll do later on. Let's keep that in for now. What are the advantages and disadvantages of networking and school computers? Okay, if you notice, this is an open-ended question. This is an open-ended question. We've got multiple choice questions, different types of questions here. Fill in the blank. Loads of different types of questions. We'll take another look at some of the questions shortly. So something acts as a traffic policeman for data packets in a network. And let's go for all of these. Okay, so now I can sort of start editing. Now this one I want to move down, so again I can move that there. In fact, I no longer want this question, so I can obviously just bin it, or I can duplicate it if I want. Let's bin that for now. There we go. So very easily we can sort of move some of these around. So the fact that I'm talking through these obviously is adding time to this, but we can get a whole lesson's worth of content up within about a few minutes. Now if I do want to add another question, I can simply come in here, add a question. Let's go for a question here, and again I've got a whole range of questions here. So I've got multiple choice, so let's add a multiple choice question here. Which month is the coldest in the year? Okay, and now I'm feeling a little bit lazy, so I'm actually going to generate these answers with AI, which it will then actually fill all of these in, and it's actually popped it in as January. I have no idea if that's the correct answer or not. So what I am actually going to do is I thought it was December, so let's tick December as well. This is currently chosen as like single correct answer. Let's have multiple correct answers. And there we go. So that's something which I've added in there. If I do have photos I want to add, I can add them. If I want to add audio, I can do, or even a video, I can do. So that's one question done. Let's now add another type of question. Okay, let's fill in the blank. Okay, there we go. Let's type in my question here. what can I do to the number 6 to get to 7? Okay, there we go. I can type my answer here. I can go to add 1. Okay, and there we go. That's giving me the answer. Okay, so we can sort of add that one there. So a bit of a poor example there, but obviously that's something we can do. In fact, there we go. So what I can do is actually, let's delete that one. Let's try another one. Fill in, let's go for open-ended. So now this one I like here. Let's try this one. What are the positives of using a wired connection compared to wireless? Okay, now this is obviously can be, there's loads of things that can come up here. I'm actually going to enable this auto evaluate. In fact, so now what it's got here, it's asking me for the answer key, and again I'm going to generate with AI. So now obviously this is going to use some sort of AI to come up with something. Correct if it's list key positives of wired over wireless, more stable consistent connection, lower latency, faster more reliable speeds, less interference, better security, etc, etc, etc. And that will actually, once the students put in the answer, it would use this as a tool to mark their answers, which I think is pretty great, to be honest. Okay, so now that's there, that's been put in. Let's try another one. We can have drag and drop. Okay, so I can have my question here. Let's try. Let's in. Okay, there are many types of network topologies. One which is shaped with let's say in a circle. Shaped in a circle is okay. Now we've got our answer option. Let's get our correct answer, which is a ring. Okay, so that's got there my correct options. Incorrect options, again, let's go to generate. It's going to generate a few there for me. Okay, I can carry on with this and put in again one which may look like a straight line. Line is, and again I can add another blank, which obviously in this case could be the bus. Okay, now that's added that into the correct options. Do I want another incorrect option? Yes. Oh, in this case I will need to add my own because I can't think of any else. But anyway, so that's something I could do there as well. Let's go to another question. So we've got a drag and drop, we've got a drop down, which will be similar. Obviously we have our correct question, correct answers, we've got our incorrect answers, and the user will be expected to input them, select the correct one. Let's go to reorder. So reorder the following numbers in order. Okay, and let's just try in ascending order, let's say ascending order. So in this case, obviously I will need to put the answers in the correct order. So let's just do 1, 3, 7, 9, 10. Okay, and obviously that's something which they can do as well. Let's see which other questions we have. We've got categorize, which obviously, as you can see here, they'll be asked to sort of drag and drop categorize. We've got reorder, we've got match, where they're given sort of a few options. They need to match them up like so. I think labeling is a good one. Okay, where again, obviously they have to drag and drop things into the picture to label. Hotspot would be to go to a certain area. We've got a few draw ones, okay, which could be a bit more open-ended, perhaps not marked. So a good few ones there. We've got poll, which would obviously ask some questions, and obviously we can see how everyone's doing. That one could be a good one for how people are feeling, how they found the lesson, maybe to see how everyone's got at the end. And a word cloud to sort of just gather ideas on a certain topic. So there are quite a few good things that we may want to use. Different types of questions. I do use that quite often. If we come back to home, let's come back to create. So we do have our assessment. So again, we can import work from worksheets or questions. We can generate with AI, create from scratch. Now, one thing I do like is if you've got a CSV file, which is what I recommend you keep, you can upload these straight to this. And this is a good one because it will generate your quiz, have maybe sort of 10, 15, 20, 50 questions, up to you, which you can give to students and they can work on that at their own pace. And what I do like is students are given a score at the end. You can perhaps set a minimum score for the students, ask them to make sure they retake it until they get the score that you want. So that's a good one that I like. The other resource that I like, so you do have a video which will then obviously pause at certain points in the video, and the students can then answer questions. And this makes sure that students are watching the video, making sure that they get a good understanding on it. Similar, where they could do throughout with a passage, and then we've also got flashcards as well. Flashcards, obviously we can paste our text, we can gather them from a document, topic, particular topic, or a certain article. And again, we can generate these with AI. So again, Quizizz is a great tool which does it does make life a lot easier for me. So I'd say definitely give that a go, practice it. My favorite tool is the fact that you can obviously do a lot with using AI, so that saves a lot of time. And you can also use the accommodations, set certain languages for all your students, and that will send the content to the students within their own language. So please do give that a go. Let me know how you get on and if you find it beneficial. Thank you.